Hello, everyone. I'm Nasser Ali Afza, and this presentation is a brief account where we would explore what is scientific writing and how it should be approached. The aim is to enable the listener to become a successful scientific writer. The presentation would cite my personal experiences, my own examples from my own publications, and a reflection where the important points will be discussed regarding the one's journey to become a successful scientific writer. So let's start. Now, the most important question here is how to write. Well, first you need to decide about the title of the manuscript. The title of the manuscript is a way to convey the most important features, the most important aspects regarding that particular write-up or study, all right, in a very succinct and precise manner. So title of the manuscript should be carefully chosen, and it should be reflective of what really has happened, has been studied in that particular project. Shorter is better, of course, because the longer the title, people are lost. I mean, in terms of the understanding what really is going on. So a shorter, a succinct title is catchy, is much better, and would be helpful. The title should be expressive, yeah, but as I said, it should be succinct to the point. A title may be conclusive or neutral. A conclusive title, for example, if you find an association between factor A and factor B, the title could be factor A is related to or is caused by factor B, all right? On the other hand, the neutral one could have been the association of factor A and factor B in such and such cohort or such and such group of patients or disease. So it depends. Some of the journals would demand the title to be more conclusive and expressive. On the other hand, others would demand no, it's a good idea to remain neutral. So it depends on the journal you have selected for the submission of your work. The title could be trimmed and altered accordingly. So now let's do a bit of exercise. I will give you some examples and I'll ask you to reflect on these and see which one would you like if you have to choose one of them. Number one, pharmacogenetics of breast cancer. This is one title. Another, the same project. Determinants of chemotherapy drug level and side effects. Now, well, I think the second one is a bit better because it expresses what is going on. The first one is very bland, very neutral. I mean, it doesn't tell you what happened actually within that. It seems more like the title of a project, a larger project, rather than the title of a manuscript. On the other hand, the determinants of chemotherapy, the second one, actually tells you something about the manuscript in question. All right, but still, that is not very clear which chemotherapy, which side effects, and which drug levels are meant to be here. So it's a bit of vague, very vague statement. Now look at this relationship of drug metabolizing enzyme genotypes to plasma levels as well as myelotoxicity of cyclophosphamide in breast cancer patients. Now this third title is more expressive and more conclusive. All right. Well, I would say It's more neutral because you don't actually. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, you don't actually tell precisely whether what happened with the genotypes and what is the relationship between the genotypes as well as the drug levels. So yes, it is expressive but neutral, and it's a bit longer. So although shorter is better, but sometimes depending on what's really is the point here and the study, the title could be a bit of longer. So one size doesn't fit all. These are factors, but one has to pick and choose and judge which factors are more relevant, and they are more of subjective choice as well. So the first of the title is more like the title of a larger project. The second one is a bit of more vague, you know, clue of what's within that particular manuscript. And the third one is the one where a neutral approach has been adopted to convey that the genotypes and drug levels, they are related in some manner within a group of patients. And this is a title which is of a manuscript where I happen to be an author. The second part, after the title and the title page itself, the second part is abstract of the manuscript. The abstract, as the name indicates, is the one is actually a more precise and summarized narrative of the entire paper. And the abstract tells you in a nutshell the most important, the most salient features of that particular study. So it should include salient points, as I said. Some journals may ask for a structured abstract, and others may ask for an unstructured abstract. The structured abstract, I'm sure you must have seen that, where the abstract itself is divided into a few parts, for example, background, objective, methods, results, and conclusion. All right? But there may be other parts as well, depending on the requirement of the journal. On the other hand, the unstructured um, abstract could be where the entire description is given as a single paragraph without dividing the narrative into subheadings. So if it is structured, there should be explicit headings like introduction, methods, results, and conclusion. But if it is unstructured, all these parts of information will be part of the abstract, but without being divided into well-defined subparts. And then the journals would also ask you to list a bunch of keywords where the data mining could be done, and the manuscript in question could be retrieved by putting those particular keywords more easily. All right. So the keywords, as you are familiar with, would help find that particular manuscript. I mean, within the plethora of today's scientific literature. It's always a good idea to limit the word count. For example, the unstructured abstracts, usually the journals would ask you around 150 words of unstructured abstract. There could be more, maybe 200 words, maybe 300 words, but usually 150. So that's the best bet would be to limit the unstructured abstract around 150 words. On the other hand, the structured abstracts are usually, most of the journals would ask you an abstract between 200 to 250 words. So it's always a good idea to keep the abstract under 250 words. I would say I would rather prefer max 200 words. So one has to learn the art to say as much as necessary with as fewer words as possible, and that is the key part of writing the abstract. As I said, you better target 200 words. Now here is another example. This is also one of my own publications, where the abstract is unstructured. You don't find the specific subparts like introduction, methods, result, and conclusion, although you find all the information within that particular unstructured abstract. For example, this part actually is the introduction, and this part is actually the methods. This part is actually the results, and the remaining is conclusion. So although the abstract is unstructured, and there are no specific or very explicit subheadings or subtopics or sub parts of the particular abstract, but still all the necessary information which should be part of this: introduction, methods, results, and discussion, and conclusion, not discussion but the conclusion. So all these four cardinal components of any abstract are already there within that particular unstructured abstract as well. So thank you very much. We are thankful for your interest in the presentation. If you have any further queries or any points you would like to discuss even in much more detail and depth, don't shy away to write your comments, your questions to the email address given here, and I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you so much.